Yeah. Running Back Nation, what is good? It is I, DJ Eastwood, Running Back Philly. It is Wednesday, June 11th. We are 14 days away from the NBA draft, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I'm kind of bored. I wasn't going to do anything today, to be honest with you, but I decided I'd come up here and talk to the people for a couple of minutes, so we're just going to read and react to a couple of news articles here, and you can drop your takes in the chat, questions, concerns, anything you want to talk about, and we'll sit here and be active with the chat and have the conversation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Hit the like button for me one time. That would be greatly appreciated. Close out the chat one time. Hit that little thumbs up if you enjoy these shows almost on a daily basis. Show your support by just hitting that little thumbs up. It pushes the stream through the algorithm, and that's how we get more and more viewers on the show or in the stream or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the chat already. Yeah, nice little laid back vibe today, a little chill show. I'll just be reading the chat and reading some articles and hanging out. Sixers about to Fultz this draft up, aren't they? Nah, I don't think they are, man. I really don't think they are. You know, and I try to be clear about this all the time when I do these shows, that this month in between the end of the 76ers season and the NBA draft, we're just making content, man. I'm just finding things to read or watch or listen to react to give my opinion on. Again, I think the Sixers drafting Ace Bailey is a 90%. It's 90%. Unless a team calls Daryl Morey with a crazy offer, it's 95%. I'm even going 95%. Ace Bailey. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't want to say that I can predict the future, but I just don't. Unless somebody makes an offer that they can't refuse to trade down, they're drafting Ace Bailey. They didn't tank this hard. They didn't tank that hard to draft Tre Johnson. They didn't tank that hard to draft VJ Edgecombe. They didn't tank that hard to trade down. It's Ace Bailey. Let's be real about it. But I found a mock draft that has the 76ers selecting Tre Johnson, number 3 overall. I'm going to say right off the bat, the Sixers don't end up with Tre Johnson if there's not a trade down. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't think they're going to mess up this draft. I think Daryl Morey's been great at drafting, and I would expect him to make the right choice. Mike Dunn is popping off early in the show, wants to get rid of Embiid by any means necessary. Missed 49% of his career games. I'm done with injury-prone players. I got bad news for you, Mike Dunn. Joel Embiid is signed until 2029. He has a 3-year extension that doesn't kick in until after next season. Joel Embiid is on essentially a 4-year max contract starting this upcoming season. So unless he plays some games and looks healthy and productive, there is no way to trade him. Alex, what's up, man? Shout out to the members in the building. Could we trade up to number 1 for Cooper Flagg? Hell no, bro. Nah. The Dallas Mavericks are not trading the pick for... They're not trading the Cooper Flagg pick. That would just be malpractice. And it would be going back on the agreement that they had with the NBA, which is, hey, you trade Luka Doncic to the Lakers, we'll make sure you get Cooper Flagg. Nah, they're not trading number 1 for anything. Kaman Maluach might be the guy. Not a number 3. Kaman Maluach might be the guy at number 5, 6, or 7 if they would end up trading down, but I don't see Kaman Maluach at number 3 either. I repeat, we will not trade down or draft Tre Johnson. The pick is Ace Bailey. I agree. And I've also compared him to Tracy McGrady. Ace Bailey will be a Sixer in 2 weeks. Let's go. Wouldn't surprise me. Morey doing Morey things. Daryl Morey's been great at drafting. It's the one thing we can say. We can, talk about all of his signings and his obsession with players past their prime, etc. Daryl Morey has been great at drafting. Morey trading back for a pick haul. I don't see it happening, man. I don't see it happening. If it does, it'll be if it does happen, it will be fireworks on draft night. But I don't see it happening. Anyway, so all I did was I went right over to the Google machine and I typed in Sixers just to see if there's something we could react to. And lo and behold, Sixers Wire 2025 NBA mock draft. The Sixers select Tre Johnson with the number 3 pick. Again, maybe a 0.5% chance of that happening. Because Tre Johnson's not the type of player. Potential is there. Yeah, potential. But he doesn't have the upside that's even close to an Ace Bailey. If he was 6'9", 210, maybe. But there's just, Tre Johnson is 6'4", about $180. VJ Edgecombe is 6'5", $180. And both of those players could become really good players in the NBA. Who knows? But the difference between the upside, when you're looking at 6'5", $180, and 6'9", 210, it's just a night and day difference. So the chances of the 76ers just straight up passing on Ace Bailey and taking Tre Johnson at number 3, 0.5%. This was a mock draft performed by The Ringer. Well, it all makes sense now, doesn't it? Isn't that Bill Simmons? Isn't The Ringer Bill Simmons? So that makes perfect sense that there is an engagement clickbait mock draft created that has something happening that's probably not going to happen, and it was performed by The Ringer. Why are we saying performed? By the way. Anyway, where's the mock draft at? Or is this just an article talking about the mock draft? Okay, this is just an article talking about the mock draft, and that this mock draft has the 76ers taking Tre Johnson at number 3. The Sixers are one of the tougher teams to read in this draft. Not really. They could move the pick for an established veteran. Probably not. But the list of potential suitors is slim, considering their specific need. Perimeter size and switchability. That's a great... That's well said. And when you look at the prospects in the draft, perimeter size and switchability, Ace Bailey is the guy. And how much their roster is going to cost soon. At the end of the day, they could wind up in the same place as the other 2 teams at the top of the draft. Don't hit at 19, miraculously get blackjack, and then turn around and drop your winnings into one of those Buffalo slot machines. Don't hit at 19. Miraculously get blackjack. All right, well, they tried to do a blackjack metaphor here, but you would never hit on 19. So whoever wrote this and proofread it never played blackjack. If you sit at a blackjack table and you hit on 19, everyone at the table is going to beat you up. Use this special opportunity to take a swing at a special talent. This is why I think Johnson could be the move here. Use this special opportunity to take a swing at a special talent, which is why I think Johnson could be the move here. No, you don't. The chatter on Tre coming out of the draft combine was very positive, softening some of the concerns about needing the ball in his hands, questionable decision-making. The bottom line is that his scoring talent is immense, and his shooting should slot into whatever timeline Morey and co have in mind. I do think Tre Johnson, out of Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, probably Dylan Harper, and even Cooper Flagg, I think Tre Johnson is the best rhythm shooter out of all of those players. And he has a little bit more of a deep range, a little bit more of a quick trigger. And Tre Johnson could become a very, very good shooter in this league. You know, he could be Buddy Hield. He could be Steph Curry. I don't know. Ant WP, why are you all so certain Ace is the option at number 3? He couldn't even lead his team to an NIT tournament, and Tre Johnson has more translatable skill set. And I would like for you to explain what you mean by translatable skill set. The reason Ace is the best option at number 3, again, is the difference in upside. A player, say Ace Bailey has the exact same skill set. Let's just say they have the exact same skill set. Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Tre Johnson. Ace Bailey is 5 inches taller and 30 pounds heavier at 18 years old. That's exactly why you take him. Because a player that's 6'4", 6'5", doesn't have the ability to become Kevin Durant, right? I'm not saying Ace Bailey will definitely become Kevin Durant or will definitely become Tracy McGrady. But if you're not 6'9", you definitely will never become Kevin Durant or Tracy McGrady. That's what we mean by upside. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't lead his team to the NIT tournament. Have you looked at Rutgers roster? Outside of Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, Rutgers roster looks like Hershey High School. Actually, not even Hershey High School. Hershey High School was just in the state championship game, actually, a couple of months ago. And there's a player that plays for Hershey High School, who's the brother of one of my good friends, who is more athletic than anybody on that Rutgers roster outside of Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. Also, why does Dylan Harper not get any of this slander? Why I don't hear that about Dylan Harper. I don't hear people saying, you know, Dylan Harper couldn't take this Rutgers team anywhere. I wouldn't take him in number 2. I have everybody saying Dylan Harper is a solidified number 2. And I actually have more concerns over Dylan Harper's jump shot form than I do Ace Bailey's. Dylan Harper's jump shot form is a little low release. It's a little square off the side of his shoulder. I'm not saying it can't be a good shot in the NBA, but it looks like it might be easy to block. He's probably going to have to get his shot release a little higher. I think I have more concerns about Dylan Harper than I do about Ace Bailey. But Dylan Harper's 6'6", 220 point guard. He's built like James Harden right now. That's why people want him. It's hard to get that size in a point guard. Look at SGA, right? 6'6". Why is SGA an MVP? Because he can hold his own on the defensive end because he's 6'6" and has a long wingspan. It's really rare to get that size in a point guard, so that's why Dylan Harper is up there. But again, it's just upside. Dylan Harper could be just as much of a bust as anybody else. But anyway, yeah, that's why I think Ace is the option at number 3, and I don't know what you mean by Tre Johnson has a more translatable skill set. Do you mean that like Tre Johnson comparing Ace to Tracy McGrady is nuts? He's more RJ Barrett. Well, you don't have a crystal ball now, do you? Tracy McGrady was the, 13th pick in the draft, or I mean, it's not like Tracy McGrady was a unanimous number 1 overall pick, which means, what pick in the draft was Tracy McGrady? Let's do this, because I got time today. What pick in the draft was Tracy McGrady?
Okay, I found this on the web. For what pick in the draft?
No, you didn't find it. What pick was Tracy McGrady? I know it was 97. I said 13. He was the 9th pick in the draft, which means 8 teams. And guess what? The 76ers in 97, guess who they took in the draft at number 2 overall? Keith Van Horn. Who was the top pick in 97? Tim Duncan. So after Tim Duncan, all the way to number 9, Tracy McGrady, 8 teams didn't know that Tracy McGrady would become an NBA superstar. The same way that you don't know what Ace Bailey will become. You see, when a player goes his whole career and then he has a historic career, we like to do this. He'll never be that player, but people didn't think that player would ever be that player. You see what I'm saying? People didn't know Steph Curry coming out of Davidson was going to be the best shooter in the history of the game. He was just a little dude chucking half-court shots in the NBA tournament, in the NCAA tournament. He took his team to the Elite Eight, which was wild, but nobody said we got to draft him. He's going to be the best shooter ever. They didn't even know that the first couple years of his NBA career. I never understand the crystal ball havers in the chat. He's 18 years old. Development is what it is. Oh, you're also saying Maluach is Rudy Gobert. All right, man. We're not reading Ant W's. We're not reading the crystal balls in the chat anymore. Anyway, let's continue in this article, man. Shout out to everybody in here. Where was I at before crystal ball haver in the chat? Which is why I think Johnson could be the move here. The chatter on Tre coming out of the draft combine is very positive. Tre Johnson averaged 19.9 points, 3.1 rebounds, 2.7 assists as a freshman for the Longhorns while shooting 39.7 from deep. The Texas guard is what the kids would call a pure hooper. He is focused on putting the ball in the basket, and he does it at such a high rate that he has the potential to be one of those high-volume microwave scorers at the next level. Bench scoring is a paramount in today's league, and Johnson would certainly help the Sixers in that department. Yeah, I didn't see what you said about what you meant by Tre Johnson has a more relatable or translatable skill set. He's a great shooter. The best shooter out of the top probably 5 or 6 guys in the draft. But so if just the shooting is a more translatable skill set, then that's your opinion. That is your opinion. Let's look at this whole mock draft. A mock draft performed by The Ringer. The Ringer's 2025 NBA Draft Guide. Here we go. Let's see. Number 1, Cooper Flagg, Duke freshman, obviously. Number 2, they're going to have Dylan Harper. And then I want to see why The Ringer would have Tre Johnson at number 3 and have the Sixers completely passing on Ace Bailey. Again, I would, if this was going to happen, it would be a trade down. Tre Johnson, the Sixers are one of the tougher teams to read in the draft. Okay. Oh, I just read this. This is what they put in the other article. This is why I think Tre Johnson could be the move here. So that's really all they said. Johnson is one of the real hooper champions of this draft. A player sure to spawn swarms of feisty Twitter warriors huffing the fumes of unbelievable highlight reels of him scoring in every which way. Falling down, spinning over either shoulder, hand glued to his face, it doesn't seem to matter. Johnson's the most talented pure scorer in this class. The most talented pure scorer. Is Tre Johnson the most talented pure scorer in the draft? No. I mean, what do we mean by pure scorer? Like, these are just catchphrases. These are just pure scorer. I'm not trying to talk down Tre Johnson either. He's just not going to go number 3, bro. He's not. Has he been in a tough position because of the quality of his roster or his coaching, or has his roster been put in a tough position because of his style of play? Johnson's frame and attentiveness can be a challenge defensively as well, which is why he's not going to go number 3 overall. He's not particularly disruptive, creating deflections or turnovers. Screen awareness and navigation are a challenge for all young perimeter players, so it's not a surprise that Tre will have stretches when it seems like his attentiveness is causing his feet to be behind the play and his arms and hands are trying to, again, he could develop into a solid defender, but he does not have the upside of an Ace Bailey. And so The Ringer, you did not do a good enough job of convincing me that the Sixers would just straight up take Tre Johnson at number 3. Did you talk about Ace Bailey in this? Yes, they did. Because of his higher center of gravity and narrow... No, he's 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan. I said 6'4". 6'6" is better than 6'4", but Still not 6'9", and they didn't talk at all about why the 76ers wouldn't take Ace Bailey. Maybe they talk about Ace Bailey at number 4 here to the Charlotte Hornets. Bailey's ability to mesh with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller is something I've gone back and which is why the Hornets probably want to trade up. Ace would rack up a ridiculous amount of easy points off ball and Miller's passing if he buys into the idea of moving the. I agree with. I mean, if I was a Charlotte Hornets fan, I would be chopping at the bit to trade up and try to draft Ace Bailey and put him next to LaMelo and Brandon Miller and let all three of those players develop together. On the other hand, the other 2 spots would have been filled with plus defenders at the point of attack, but that's not the immediate concern. The Hornets are mostly directionless and need talent. I think the Hornets are directionless. A large reason for that is that LaMelo Ball is a YMCA hooper. Not skill-wise, but just the way that he plays the game. So this is a draft first, ask questions later decision for a team that really needed to win this lottery. Landing Bailey at number 4 would be a coup. Of course it would, because he's not going to fall to 4. They still didn't really explain why the Sixers would take Tre Johnson over Ace Bailey. They said why a team would draft Tre Johnson. They did not say why the 76ers would pass on Ace Bailey to draft Tre Johnson. And so the Ringer, no, you didn't do a good job of convincing anybody. The shot looks smooth. Ace Bailey, yes it does, which is why the Sixers are taking him at number 3. The book on bothering Bailey at this point is to crowd him and hit the bestseller list in a Big Ten. The book on bothering Bailey at this point is to crowd him and hit the bestseller list in Big Ten play. It's man, whoever wrote this really reaching for metaphors, man. And WP, it's all good, brother. If you end up being right about Ace Bailey, I'll be sure to give you credit. NZ, that's because he's on the Hornets. LaMelo? Man, I don't know, bro. Like, LaMelo just doesn't raise the floor for me, dude. You know what I mean? Dude, a great point guard doesn't shoot the ball 39 times in a game. A great point guard facilitates and elevates the players around him. I think the way that LaMelo plays is the way that LaMelo plays regardless. I mean, yeah, he has the freedom to chuck bad shots because he's on the Charlotte Hornets. But if he was a floor-raising point guard, he would be, bringing the Charlotte Hornets. He would be bringing a couple wins, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That his style of play, right? Like, it's a little Tyrese Maxey-esque, like Tyrese this season with, when everybody went down. How he was playing was kind of like how LaMelo Ball plays every night, just chucking 30 bad shots. Now, if Jared McCain was on the Charlotte Hornets, would he be doing what LaMelo Ball is doing, or would he be raising the floor? I think Jared McCain is a better point guard than LaMelo Ball. The kids are not going to like to hear that. But from straight point guard instincts, floor raising, reading the floor, and making the right play, yeah, I think that's right. That might be a hot take, but I think LaMelo has a lot of skill, man. I think that he was hyped up his whole life. And I think that he's going to need to learn how to play like a point guard and not I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar. And I think he plays like he thinks he is a superstar. That's how I feel about LaMelo Ball. But anyway, yeah, they didn't do a good job of convincing me that the Sixers would take Tre Johnson at number 3. So, terrible mock draft. I give it a 0 out of 10. Thank you to the Ringer for the free content. Then they have VJ Edgecombe going number 5 to the Jazz. I think that's probably accurate. I think Derek Queen's going to fall in the draft. I think Derek Queen's going to fall in the draft. A lot of people talk about Derek Queen. A lot of subscribers tell me the Sixers should be looking at Derek Queen. A lot of people love Derek Queen's game. I think Derek Queen's game is a little more questionable. Will his athleticism or lack of athleticism translate to the NBA? Derek Queen plays like, from what I've seen at least, he plays like a finesse game. He doesn't play a high athletic above the rim type of game. And, you know, are we calling Derek Queen a center? Are we calling Derek Queen a power forward? I think he can be a good stretch four, but I don't really think personally that Derek Queen is a top 6 pick in the draft. I don't think his upside is high enough. I think Derek Queen, from what he looks like watching him play, I think Derek Queen kind of is one of those players that is what he is. I don't think he's going to take some kind of crazy leap and become an NBA superstar. And I think top 5, 6 in the draft, you want players that you feel like could possibly take a leap in development and become a star, right? I think Derek Queen could be a Harrison Barnes, just off the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? Derek Queen is not athletic, but he's a legit 6'10" and can play center just like Şengün. You think Derek Queen has like the ball skills and passing ability of baby Jokic? All right. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I think Queen plays similar to Şengün because he's underrated as a passer. I think he has a high floor and could be a 20 and 10 guy. Could be a 20 and 10 guy. I like that you said he's underrated as a passer. I hope you're right about that. I hope he becomes great. But I'm personally not taking Derek Queen in the top. I think he's going to fall in the draft. I really do. I think Con Knepel's going to go 5 or 6 because of his ability to move off ball, catch and shoot at a high rate, at a high percentage. I see a lot of Klay Thompson and Con Knepel with even a little bit more playmaking ability. Jeremiah Fears, Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant to the Raptors. There's your boy Danny Wolf. A lot of people have been talking about Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf looks like Danny Wolf looks like a Brook Lopez, but like more movement, more perimeter play. Danny Wolf looks like a 7-foot guard. I like Danny Wolf too. Kaman Maluach all the way at 12 in the Ringer mock draft. I don't see Maluach falling to 12, man. I just don't. He's raw. He's 18, 19 years old. But he's 7'2". He's a legit 7'2", 250. Height without shoes, 7 feet, 0.75. And yes, he finished a Final Four game with 0 rebounds. He has a lot to learn, a lot of development needed for Kaman Maluach. But the raw size and athleticism is something I would not pass on if I was at number 6 or later. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. I think Kaman Maluach could become... He could become Joel Embiid. He could become Giannis Antetokounmpo. He could become... You know, who knows, man? A lot of people, again, think that they can predict the future, but these players outside of the top 2 need years of development, and it's all a guessing game. But I'm not passing on Kaman Maluach if I'm at number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just the size is so rare. 7'2", 250 with athletic ability. Again, the only player over 7'1", not named Wemby. The only player over 7'1" with athleticism drafted in the last 10 years was Victor Wembanyama and Bol Bol. Kaman Maluach has that size and athleticism of a Wemby and Bol Bol. I just think it's too rare to pass on. Man. Yeah, so that's my overall take on that. The top of this mock draft. The Ringer did not do a solid job of convincing me why the 76ers would pass on Ace Bailey to just straight up take Tre Johnson. If the 76ers end up with Tre Johnson, I mean, I don't think they're going to, because not only that, bro, to take Tre Johnson at number 3, you'd be, 1, passing on Ace Bailey. Number 2, you'd be adding another guard to your team. Full of guards, bro. Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Justin Edwards is 6'6". Are we calling Justin Edwards a guard, or are we calling him a wing? Are we calling Tre Johnson a wing or a guard? He doesn't look like a wing to me. He looks like an on-ball guard to me. Quentin Grimes. They're trying to work out Dennis Smith Jr. Why does this team want so many guards? They're not taking Tre Johnson at number 3. Unless there is a trade down, and I don't think you tanked as hard as they tanked to trade down and take Tre Johnson. So no, didn't convince me. The pick is Ace Bailey, and we move. Maluach did play different in high school. He actually shot turnaround jumpers in high school. I just posted a clip yesterday on Instagram and TikTok of Kaman Maluach in the Olympic exhibition game against the USA for South Sudan, catching the ball on the elbow, taking a jab step, and shooting a jumper over one Joel Hans Embiid. Yeah, it was one shot, but the potential is there. The kid got the ball. He was 17 years old at the time. He got the rock with Joel Embiid guarding him. Took a jab step and hit a jumper right over him. At 17 years old in an Olympic exhibition game. The ability is there. The potential is there for Kaman Maluach. Ace is the pick. Too many guards on his team. We have a good cause. Is tandem already. Also, with them reporting Grimes as a priority, I'm confident Ace is the pick. I'm confident, too, that Ace is the pick. The Mail at 6 or 7, if trade down with Pelicans for Herb Jones in the 7th, real need to fleece them for Trey. Real need to fleece them for Trey Murphy, Herb Jones in the 7th, for real. Then take the Mail Bowl for sure. The Mail Bowl? Who the hell's the Mail? The Mail at 6 or 7? What are we talking about? Who's the Mail, bro? The Mail? Are you talking about Maluach? Is that who you're calling the Mail Bull? Need to fleece the Pelicans for Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and I don't see the Pelicans trading Trey Murphy and Herb Jones for number 3. Look, Trey Murphy's 6'8". Everybody, bro, why is everybody sleeping on Trey Murphy so much, man? I was just talking about Trey Murphy with NZ for 3 the other night. Trey Murphy is 24 years old. He's 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan and can score from all over the floor. Every part of the floor. And had a 3-game span last year with the Pelicans, right when Zion went down, where he dropped 3 30-plus point games in a row. One of them was a 41-point game where he was lights out, unconscious, could not miss. Why in the world would the Pelicans trade a 6'8" player who has the potential to score like that to draft a player 1 inch taller who you would hope would develop into a player who could score like that? It just doesn't make any sense. And then they give up Herb Jones also and the 7th pick. I don't understand that. The only way the Pelicans would trade Herb Jones and Trey Murphy and the 7th pick would be to trade up for number 1. I think Ace Bailey's upside is huge, but I don't think he's so sought after that a team's going to give up a 25-year-old first team all defensive player in Herb Jones, who can also catch and shoot at 40+%, and a 6'8" scorer like Trey Murphy, who's only 24 years old. If you're the Pelicans and you want to rebuild, you keep those players. If you want to if you want to continue to try to build a winning team around Zion Williamson, if he's done, running around with adult film actresses and eating 5,000 calories a day, probably 10,000. You keep Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. I don't know why the Pelicans would even trade those players. They're going to trade DeJounte Murray. I thought they were going to trade Zion. Apparently they're not, but that might just be the owners and everybody driving up the price. But I don't see them trading those two young talents at all. We got a super chat. Nick Marchetti, what's up, man? Trade with Pels for 7 and Herb, then draft the center. That's the one that I said the other day that I wouldn't be mad at. I don't want the 76ers to trade down. But if they would trade down, I'll take a 25-year-old first team all defense 3-and-D player, Herb Jones. And I'll draft Maluach at number 7 if he falls. That's what I would do. But I'm not Daryl Morey, and I don't think it's happening. I think they're taking Ace Bailey. We have been through too much pain and tears from this team. If Morey trades away this gift from the basketball gods, I'm crashing out, dude. Take Ace, build around Maxey, Jared, and Ace. I agree. Murphy always injured and inconsistent when he isn't. All right. How much has he been injured in 3 years? Pels may not want to pay for Murphy extension. Maybe not. Why are we even contemplating trading down? I don't understand. We're not contemplating trading down. Nobody's contemplating trading down. The 76ers are not trading down. I'm just reading a mock draft and giving my opinion on it. How often could we even have a chance at the number 3 pick? The choice is obvious. Draft Ace Bailey. 100% agree. 100% agree. Tre Johnson is a fake Karis LeVert. What? The Pelicans GM Dumars loves Ace. Let's see how much he loves him. Ask for Herb, Trey Murphy, and the 7th, and see what he wants with the 3rd. Just to see where his head is. See, I think that rumor came from, and I think I talked about it yesterday, but I think that rumor came from, excuse me. I think that rumor came from just writers kind of taking a piece of information and stretching it and making shit up. Because everybody loves Ace Bailey. You know what I'm saying? So if my job was to write an article every day, this is what I would do. I would take a small piece of information and I would write a whole story about it. And I would stretch it into a whole story, right? So if every GM that has picked 3 to 10 loves Ace Bailey, right? Then I can cherry pick which one I want to talk about. And I can say, Joe Dumars loves Ace Bailey, right? I could say Danny Ainge, the Utah Jazz. I could say Danny Ainge loves Ace Bailey. I'm sure that's a fact, because everybody below pick 3 loves Ace Bailey because of his upside. So I could say Danny Ainge loves Ace Bailey. Let's call the Jazz, see what Danny Ainge wants to give us for Ace Bailey. Sure. Maybe Danny Ainge gives you Lauri Markkanen and their later pick in the draft. I wouldn't see number 5 in Lauri Markkanen, but I'm just saying that, like, yeah, of course Joe Dumars loves Ace Bailey. That doesn't mean he's going to trade Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and the 7th pick for him. If they would offer that, then it's a yes. If they would offer that, then it's a yes. Am I wrong? Can we all agree that if the Pelicans would offer Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and the 7th pick, you would trade down? Or is there still people that would not trade down? What do you got in the chat? Even though I think this is unrealistic, if it was offered, Is everybody in agreement that you would say yes to that? Or is there still people that would say no to that? I don't want to trade down. But if you're going to give me 2 good young players, a first-team all-defensive player, a player with the scoring ability of Trey Murphy, and number 7? Come on, bro. I get Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and then I draft Maluach. But that's not happening. That's too much. 7th pick is too far of a move down for me. But you're getting Trey Murphy. Right? 40 to 20, I feel you, but if the Pels come knocking, just if they're desperate enough, just a thought. Yeah, I don't think they're that desperate. Hey, you like pick 3? Give me every good player you have for them. They're going to be like, all right, never mind. The other media markets hate the Sixers and don't want us to take Ace. If the Nets had number 3 or Pelicans had number 3, the media would be painting him as the next Carmelo Anthony. You think that's it? You think Ace Bailey is being talked about in a negative light because other media markets hate the Sixers and don't want us to take Ace Bailey? You think this is all a strategy to try to convince Daryl Morey to pass on Ace Bailey? That's possible, I think, but I think you're giving media markets a little too much credit. I think media markets are people like me who are just making shit up to talk about every day. I don't think there's that much thought going into it. Hey, man, we hate the Sixers. We don't want Daryl Morey to take Ace Bailey. Let's put together a whole bunch of negative stories about Ace Bailey all summer so that Daryl Morey passes on Ace Bailey because we hate the Sixers that much. That's a stretch. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, man. We weren't supposed to have this pick anyway. Facts. The Sixers are again, I've been talking about the draft every day now for like 3 weeks, and I'm going to continue to talk about the draft probably every day for 2 more weeks. But the Sixers are taking Ace Bailey. That's what's happening. Let's go back to the Google machine, see if we can find anything else interesting to talk about. 227 people in here, man. Thanks for hanging out. Just a nice little chill, little laid-back vibe lunchtime live stream here where I'm just reading articles and reading the chat and having a conversation with you guys. Thank you so much for coming through and participating. Give me 275 likes, man. Tre Johnson poised to electrify Philadelphia as... I love headlines, bro, because you could just tell there's like a corporate guy or somebody's boss that's like, hey, you need more clicky words, bro. More clicky words. You don't have enough clicky words in the title. Tre Johnson, so insert player name, right? Insert fan base name, and then insert like 7 clicky words. Tre Johnson poised to electrify Philadelphia as Sixers eye dynamic prospect, it probably says. Dynamic sharpshooter for NBA draft revolution. You talking about lunch? Well, it's 2:47 a.m. here. Well, you're in Australia, and I'm not. Wait, why are you awake at 2:47 a.m. listening to me yap? Sixers offseason mailbag draft rumors are flying. Sixers 2025. Let's do this. Let's do this before I get out of here. Which players on team options could return? Should return should be the title there. Sixers 2025 offseason. Which players on team options could return? We have a photo of Ricky Council. And right off rip, I'm saying no to Ricky Council. I know Ricky Council is on a 2-year contract. This is the second year of his contract. Hold up. Ricky Council contract. I know the 76ers signed Ricky Council to a contract to make him eligible to play in the playoffs last year, and then Nick Nurse didn't play him for a single minute, which is hilarious. But Ricky Council is in a 4-year, $7 million contract. So his average salary is $1.8 million. Like, bro, slightly above the veteran minimum. Not that he's a veteran. What qualifies as veteran minimum? But either way, Ricky Council is on a very affordable contract. So I guess, sure, if you see out Ricky Council's contract and he becomes a player that you can utilize, I guess bring Ricky Council back again. He's not affecting the cap that much. Now, if you get to a situation where you need to find an extra $2 million, then you trade Ricky Council. If you trade Ricky Council, you throw him in some kind of trade pack. If you get to a point where we want to re-sign Grimes, but he was offered $18 million, we don't want to pay him $18 million. We want to pay him $15, but we're willing to pay him the $18 if we find the room to pay him that. And Ricky Council's one of those casualties in that process. Then sure, but I don't care one way or the other, I guess, if Ricky Council comes back. I haven't seen any development from him, which is unfortunate. He talked about how he wanted to become an NBA All-Star and he wanted to be in the NBA dunk contest and all this. But, my man, you're going to have to fix your jump shot if you want to do anything in the NBA. Ricky Council, if Ricky Council is at home right now and happen to scroll on YouTube and come across this YouTube stream, Ricky Council, I'm telling you, your jump shot is busted. It's busted, bro. You cannot survive in the NBA shooting the basketball the way that you shoot it. All right? And I don't know if it's fixable. I don't know who taught you to shoot it that way. I hope nobody. I hope that was just you teaching yourself. I don't know if it's fixable. You will not become anything in the NBA if you don't fix that jump shot, because that shit is busted. You got all the fire. You got all the effort. You got the confidence in yourself. You got the athleticism. You got the end-to-end. You got the ball skills. You got ball handling. You got it all. Except for that jump shot. And that jump shot is busted. We're gonna have to, you shoot the ball with two hands, bro. We're gonna have to move the hand behind the ball. That's what we're gonna have to move this right hand behind the ball, okay? We're gonna have to move this left hand to the side of the ball. All right? And we're going to have to fix that jump shot. Stop wasting live time on Ricky. Stop wasting live time on Ricky. Yeah. Front office. Here's what I want you to do, man. I want you to go to youtube.com. Here, let me show you, bro. Let me show you what I want you to do. I want you to go to youtube.com, okay? I want you to click right up here in the right-hand corner. And I want you to go to create account. And I want you to make your own YouTube channel. All right? And then you can go live and you can say whatever you want to say. Unfortunately for you, there will not be 300 people watching live, because it took me 6 years of hard work to get here. And you won't put in 6 years. I know you won't. I'm just keeping it a buck like a dollar store, baby. All right, Ricky Council, yeah, I don't really care if he comes back. Jared Butler. Dude, Daryl Morey traded for Jared Butler, dude. He traded for Jared Butler. Isn't that crazy? I'm pretty sure he traded that 2026 pick swap for Jared Butler. See, Daryl Morey was in a pinch where the trade deadline was approaching, and he said, everybody's mad at how old our roster is. I got to get younger immediately to make everybody happy. And he traded for Quentin Grimes. Good trade. And he traded for Jared Butler. I don't know if the Jared Butler trade was a good one. I feel like this was a panic trade. Anyway, Jared Butler, his deal was converted to a standard NBA deal with $2.3 million club option for this upcoming season. Sixers have to make a decision by June 27th, 2025 on whether they will accept the club option, and it likely depends on what they do in the draft. Maxey, McCain, Grimes. Do we still have Jeff Doughton Jr., a.k.a. NASCAR? Jeff Doughton Jr. coming around turn 4. Jared Butler, you can, good luck on your ventures, buddy. I didn't see anything that tells me we need to bring back Jared Butler. Lonnie Walker. Unfortunately, Lonnie Walker showed us in his 20 games with the Sixers why he was no longer in the NBA. We signed Lonnie Walker out of the Euro League. Again, Daryl Morey was in a position where he was like, people are mad we don't have athleticism. They're mad that we're old and slow. I'm going to bring Lonnie Walker over from Turkey or wherever the hell he was playing at. And then, he had some games where he scored points, but dude, a lot of times, if you really watched, you could see why. You could see why Lonnie Walker wasn't in the league anymore, man. He got phased out in Boston. It was a cap situation, but it's not just that. Lonnie Walker's not a very smart player. And I don't think he's a good enough scorer to make up for the way that he plays the game. His contract has a club option for $2.9 million that has to be decided on by 6/29/25. Look, the Sixers are going to try to save every penny they can, especially if they're trying to re-sign Yabusele and Quentin Grimes. I could see Ricky Council, Jared Butler, and Lonnie Walker. I could see Ricky Council being thrown in a trade package. I could see Jared Butler and Lonnie Walker. No, we're not. We got a team option. We'll see you guys later. Good luck on your ventures, man. Is that it? I thought they were going to talk about the players that have player options. Okay, players on team options. There are some players on player options that the 76ers have to desperately get rid of. Desperately get rid of. I'm drawing a blank. Eric Gordon has a player option. 76ers have to desperately get rid of that guy. Andre Drummond has a player option. The 76ers desperately have to get rid of that guy. Kelly Oubre has a player option. Kelly Oubre is the one, man, where I'm like, I think Andre Drummond, Eric Gordon. I mean, Kyle Lowry has a no trade clause, which is just hilarious. Before I get out of here, chat. I think the 76ers need to trade Kelly Oubre. Let me go. Kelly Oubre contract. I think he has a player option. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, he signed a 2-year, $16 million contract. And he has a player option, I was correct, for $8.3 million. Now, I'm going to tell you this straight up. No team in the NBA is offering Kelly Oubre $8.3 million. Kelly Oubre, before this contract, before the Sixers signed him at the end of 2 off seasons ago, almost didn't get an NBA contract. And then he played so well alongside a healthy Embiid, he earned this contract. So I'm happy that Kelly Oubre earned himself another $15 million in the NBA. But without the gravity of Joel Embiid and the gravity of Tyrese Maxey, like when Kelly Oubre is put in a situation where he kind of has to step up, he turns back into Charlotte Hornets Kelly Oubre, who averaged 20 points per game one season on like 35% from the field. Kelly Oubre can be great in the right role, but I don't think he's worth that $8 million ultimately. And I think that what we love about Kelly Oubre, the athleticism, the effort that he plays with, I love everything about Kelly Oubre. But I think you can get another Kelly Oubre. You know what I'm saying? I think the 76ers have been so desperate for 6'7", 6'8" wings who play defense and play hard and can dunk a basketball. Like if you look at the last 10 years, the athletic wings, bro, we were like, where they at? Every team has them except for us. So we love Kelly Oubre. I think it was a little bit of because we hadn't seen an actual athletic NBA player for so many years. But I think if you're not completely incompetent, which the 76ers are, but if they weren't completely incompetent, you can find another Kelly Oubre without paying him $8.3 million. It's a player option, which means he's going to opt into it because no other team is going to offer him $8.3 million, which is why I think you need to trade Kelly Oubre. Do you guys love or hate that take? Do you guys love or hate that take? Any team, Oubre averaged 15 and 6 while guarding 1 through 4, though. So for $8 million, that's low-key a steal in today's NBA. All right, maybe I'm underrating his defensive ability a little bit. His undeniable low basketball IQ drives me insane. We can go all the way back to the Knicks series where Jalen Brunson kept getting in front of him and twerking on him and drawing fouls in the final minutes, the final seconds of Game 6. Legitimately, Jalen Brunson sealed that series because the 76ers had Kelly Oubre on the floor. As much as I hated what Jalen Brunson was doing, Kelly Oubre kept falling for it. He kept getting behind him. He kept riding him too close, pause, and he kept fouling him from behind. Do I think it should have been called a foul? No, because he was jumping backwards. But Kelly Oubre kept fucking doing it. And so kind of the 76ers lost that series because Kelly Oubre was on the floor. Kelly Oubre's low basketball IQ drives me insane. And then Nick Nurse runs lineups of Andre Drummond, Kelly Oubre, and Ricky Council all on the floor together. Like, bro, what is this, a bunch of crash dummies? Oubre is a good system player. I like Oubre, but we need a whole new team, to be honest. What else you guys think about trading Kelly Oubre? Oubre played mostly power forward. Worst sports take in history. Can't be that bad. I hate it. It ain't going to happen. I think it is going to happen. I think they're going to sign and trade Kelly Oubre. I think they're going to sign and trade Eric Gordon. And I think they're going to sign and trade Andre Drummond. All three of those players are opting into a player option. All three of those players are getting traded. Come back to this video when it happens. I'm mad that his three-point shot never came along. Yeah, he is what he is, man. The continuity is important, though. That team chemistry is important, but Kelly is not a starter. You know, Joel Embiid says this a lot. A lot of people say this a lot. That we have a roster turnover every year, right? And we need to build some continuity. And Joel Embiid even said it a couple times that, it's hard to get in a rhythm or build something when you're constantly turning the roster over. But the reason the 76ers constantly turn the roster over is because it's trash. We're forgetting that part, bro. The reason the 76ers go into every offseason and change the roster so much is because the roster sucked. You see what I'm saying? So every offseason you can't be like, oh, our roster was trash. I mean, the worst rebounding team in history, the worst transition team in history. We got too many bad shooters. We got too many guys with a low basketball IQ. We got too many short, old players. But we need to keep the same trash roster so that we can have continuity. I don't agree with that. I think they turned the roster over because the roster sucks. I do think that. Why would you want to trade the glue and masculinity of the... Wait, did you just say masculinity? For Kelly Oubre? This man paints his nails and dresses like Lenny Kravitz, man. Who is our dog without Kelly Oubre? I don't know, somebody else. I want the Sixers to build a winning roster and then figure out who the dog is. You know what I mean? Sure, have a trash roster, but at least we got a dog. You know? They get the strangest player. Maxey, McCain, Edwards, and Adembona is our continuity. I agree with that, man. I agree with that. I'm excited to see them. I'd love to see Gordon go. He doesn't provide much. He doesn't provide anything, actually. And he's 6'1", and he's fat and slow. And so he needs to go. And Nick Nurse was playing. Bro, Nick Nurse was playing lineups. I swear to God. Of Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, and Reggie Jackson last year. Which is, bro, I'm still on. Of all the players and everything that needs to change, Nick Nurse gotta go. I don't care. You just made me think about Nick Nurse. Because he did things last year that no coach in their right mind would do. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, what was he supposed to do with an injured run? I don't know. Not put 3 short 40-year-olds on the floor at the same time? I would put the Delaware Bluecoats out there before I put those 3 players on the floor at the same time. It was so insane, some of the things that Nick Nurse was doing. So you just reminded me that no matter who the 76ers draft, no matter what players they sign or what players they trade, Nick Nurse got to go. He has to go, bro. He's terrible. I don't care. I've seen enough. I know I say it about every call. You want Doc Rivers gone. You wanted Brett Brown gone. Now you want Nick Nurse gone. Yep. You always want to fire a coach because they suck. Correct. I always want to fire the coach because they suck. And we always sign the wrong coach. I've seen enough of Nick Nurse, bro. I've seen enough of Nick Nurse, man. His refusal to play the young guys until the season was over, fire him. His obsession with Kyle Lowry, fire him. The fact that he would play 3 short 40-year-olds at the same time while you're getting smoked in transition and smoked on the rebounds and smoked on perimeter defense, fire him. It was like everybody could see what was happening. He was on the sidelines like, I just can't figure out why we're getting destroyed when I got 3 midgets on the floor. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Nick Nurse got to go, bro. Get me Tibbs? Oof. No, man, no. 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 We did not fire Doc Rivers to fire Nick Nurse to hire the same coach. Nah. I don't know who I would want as coach, man. I don't even think I would want Mike Malone, man. I I think I'm ready to go in. Dude, I was watching some highlights of the 2019 76ers team because I'm a maniac, okay? And there was so much ball movement and off-ball movement on that team, partially because the roster made a little more sense. There was off-ball shooters. But there was more off-ball movement and plays being run and screens being set and actual creativity. There was more actual strategy on those Brett Brown teams than the Doc Rivers team and this Nick Nurse team. And I was screaming fire Brett Brown for like 2 years. But I actually think we fired Brett Brown. Not that he was great, but I think we fired Brett Brown and we actually got worse coaches. You loved Nick Nurse over Doc. I loved Doc over Brett Brown. Do you see what I'm saying? We hired a coach. They said this is good. I believed it. It was not good. Okay? Then they fired Doc Rivers. They hired Nick Nurse. They said this is good. I believed it. It was not good. Do you see where I'm going here? Brett Brown teams were always tops in the league in passing and pace like the Pacers are doing. Only the 76ers. And again, I'm not saying we shouldn't have fired Brett Brown. There's a reason he didn't get another head coaching job in the NBA. But only the 76ers could find a way to get worse after firing Brett Brown. Yeah, hey, thank you guys for hanging out, man. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for chopping up with me. I realistically had nothing to talk about. Just thought I'd come through and give you guys a lunchtime live show and talk to you, and hopefully it was at least entertaining or something like that. Thank you for tuning in. I can't wait for the NBA draft. The next 14 days need to go a lot faster than they're going right now. And yeah, man, thanks for coming through. Hit the like button, subscribe. You know, all that stuff, man. Shout out to everybody. You guys